and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and a very happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Now, today we've got a puzzle for you by PulverizingPancake, whose birthday it is today. So happy birthday, PulverizingPancake. And this is called Beasthunter Saif. And I have to say, I had never heard of Beasthunter Saif before. I had to look it up on the internet. Apparently it is might be a weapon from a computer game on the PlayStation called Bloodborne. Forgive me, this means nothing to me. I read the description and thought I might actually like the game, but Beasthunter Saif is beyond my ken. Now, is this puzzle difficult or not? I don't know, but I think it's got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters Germany, which implies it shouldn't be absolutely monstrous. And a fairly simple rule set today, which I shall read you in just a moment or two. But before I do that, there is another birthday. It's not just PulverizingPancake's birthday today. I believe it is Ben Phelan's birthday today, all the way from St. Catharines over in Canada. And I liked your email, Ben, so thank you for sending us that. And I liked to hear that your 6-year-old son is getting into sudoku solving from watching our videos as well, which is fabulous news. So yeah, encourage him all you can, and soon you will have an absolute expert on your hands. Now, next I want to say congratulations to more of you who've got through the doctoral pack on Patreon at the moment. This is this enormous pack of very fun Japanese sum Sudoku puzzles by Panthera the Asylum and Grockles, and correct entries have been received in the last 24 hours from Pal Pruitt, from Riddy Darnawat, from Brian Vert or Wirt, I'm not sure which Brian, forgive me if I've mispronounced it. Now, is this triple Sears as well? It could be triple 3 years. I'm going to get that wrong too. Kuriban, Emmy and Jeff Nicholson, and Ian Denker. Now, Ian, I definitely read your name out already, and you sent another email saying you didn't hear your name read out. Well, I've definitely read it out now, but I do sort of remember in my brain that I think the syllables of your name have passed my lips before. So all of you, very well done. And if you are planning to get your entries in, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline, so do try. And we are very, very grateful to Panthera the Asylum and Grockles, because, and this is a fairly extraordinary thing, we're going to be able to share with you solution videos for not 1 or 2 of these puzzles, but all of them. So all of the puzzles from the standard pack and all of the puzzles from the doctoral pack have solution videos created by the setters of those puzzles. It really is a phenomenal thing. So if you are a patron, look out for that, look forward to that. And yeah, we just want to say a huge thank you to those constructors for making such an amazing reward for our patrons. Really, really superb stuff. Now, that's all I've got to tell you about today. So why don't we get on with Beasthunter Saif and see what's going on. I've just realised the Beasthunter Saif is some sort of serrated weapon that looked a bit to me like a scythe. But I guess this thing, combined with this whisper, I mean, that looks like quite an offensive weapon to me. So maybe that's why it has this name. Those familiar with the lore of Bloodborne will be able to tell me whether I'm right or wrong. But these are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. The small number in the top left corner of a cage indicates the sum of the digits in the cage. So those 3 digits there, they sum to 13. So they could be 2, 4. I'm going to ignore the whispers constraint because that's too much to think about. 2, 4 and 7. That would be a legitimate way of filling this killer cage, although it may not work with the green line, which I shall come to, because the green lines are German whispers today, which means that the successive digits along a green line must have a difference of at least 5. So if that cell was a 3, this cell would have to be at least 5 different from 3. So the only digits that we can put in a Sudoku that would fulfill that criteria are 8 and 9. And let's imagine we made this a 9. What would this digit then be? This digit would have to be 5 different from 9 at least. So it could be 4, it could be 1, it could be 2. That's how to fill your German whispers in. Do have a go at the puzzle. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And the first thing that catches my eye here, actually there are two things. I've just seen something else that catches my eye here, but I'm going to start with the first thing, which is that I can see that the handle of my Beasthunter is a different version of a 9 cage from these other 9 cages up the grid. What do I mean by a different version of a 9 cage? Well, a 3-cell 9 cage can only be one of 3 combinations: 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, or 2, 3, 4. And whatever this is, let's imagine this was 2, 3, 4 for a moment. How would this one work? Well, it can't be 2, 3, 4 because this digit couldn't be 2, 3, 4, and the same is true for this one. So that means that whatever this bottom one is, the handle of our Beasthunter, whatever our Beasthunter's handle is, it's different from this one and different from this one. Now, what we don't know is whether these have to be different from each other. Although, no, actually we do. We've got 3 different versions of 9 cages, because how could these be the same? And the answer is they can't be the same for actually 2 reasons. I've spotted another reason. In fact, the second reason I've spotted is easier than the first reason. But the first reason I spotted was that if these are the same version of 9, so imagine these are both 2, 3, 4 cages. Well, the version I spotted first was to say, well, by sudoku, these cells would have to be 2, 3, and 4. And then I would have 6 cells in box 8 that added up to 18. Those 3 and those 3. And the minimum 6 digits can add up to in a sudoku, if all those digits are different, is the triangular number for 6, aka 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, which is 21. So that was able to be ruled out. However, it now occurs to me that there is a simpler way of ruling out that these are the same cages or the same combinations. And that's look at those 4 digits in column 4, which, if these were the same, these 4 cells would have to be filled with just 3 different digits, and that's clearly going to lead to a repeated digit, which is not allowed under the rules of sudoku. So what we now need to do, actually, is to... what should we do? I'll make purple. So these are the 3 different versions of 9 cages, and that feels like something that PulverizingPancake has probably done on purpose. But we're probably going to need help from the Whispers line. Ooh, let me just think about this one. Hang on. Sorry, the reason this one's caught my eye is that there is only 1 high digit that you can put on in a 9 cage. And what do I mean by high digit? Well, let's establish, for those of you who've not watched the channel before, these green lines have 2 basic properties that you need to remember. There are 2 secrets to do with German Whispers lines. Now, the first secret is you can never put a 5 on a line, because if you do, the next digit becomes impossible from a sudoku perspective. If you put 5 on one of these green lines, because the next digit has to be 5 away from 5 at least, it either has to be 0 or negative, they don't work, or it has to be 10 or higher, and that doesn't work. Now, what that means, that leads to the second secret about German Whispers lines, which is that each cell on a German Whispers line can then be thought of as either being low or high. And by low I mean under 5, and by high I mean above 5. Now, if a digit is under 5, what's the next digit on the line going to be? Well, because it has to be 5 different, it must be the other side. It must be a high digit. So the polarity, as we like to call it, along the whisper line will oscillate. Now, I'm wondering, therefore, about this tiny little line, because the only way that this digit can be high is if it is a 6, because you can't put 7, 8 or 9 in a 3-cell 9 cage. So, and if that's a 6, that has to be a 1, because it has to be 5 different from 6. And that would have to be a 2, because we need to put a 1 and a 2 now in this 9 cage. So this would be 4, 5, this would be 2, this would be 6, this would be 1, and that would be impossible to make the 15 work. Okay, it's a bit chainy, and maybe I shouldn't use it. I don't think it's going to do very much for me anyway, but you can, let me just do that slowly, because this would be 6 and this would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 1. The only way of making the 9 cage work is with 4, 5, and now I have no way of making 14 in those two cells because 6, 8 and 5, 9 are not available. So we can at this point say that this digit is low. It's 1, 2, 3 or 4, and that digit is 6, 7, 8 or 9. Okay, no, I don't think that's probably what I was meant to look at. I suspect what I'm meant to look at is the blade of my Beasthunter. And that's because of the oscillating polarity principle. That's quite a good word of describing what's going on. Look at the way this line works. Well, we know that if this is high, this will be high, this will be high, and this will be high, because we have to oscillate our highnesses and lownesses. And if this is low, that's going to be low, that's going to be low, and that's going to be low. So these 4 cells here are all of the same polarity. And I guess that means right, okay, that's very interesting indeed, because I can now tell you that the grey is not low. Because if grey is low, box 5 is broken. And that's because I can't put 4 in either of those cells. So let's go through this. If grey is low, we know those 2 digits there are on the low side of 5, so they're 1, 2, 3 or 4. But they can't be 4, because if you put a 4 on a whispers line, the only digit you can put next to it is 9, because we need a digit that's 5 away. But that's going to lead to a sudoku problem in column 7. So these digits are not 4, which means they're now 1s, 2s or 3s. But that breaks the 9 cage. Because if you think about the 3 ways of making 9 in 3 digits, 6, 1, 2, well, that's going to cause both of these to be 3. 5, 1, 3, that's going to cause both of these to be 2. Or 2, 3, 4, that's going to cause both of these to be 1. So this doesn't work. And that means that these digits, our grey digits, are actually, we're going to replace the colour, because I meant to use orange for high, because it's sort of sunny. So the temperature of these digits has increased. Now, okay, now we have to be careful here with 6s, because we can't put 6 in the middle of a line for exactly the same reason we can't put 4 in the middle of the line. 6 has to be flanked by double 1, so 6 can come out of those 2 cells. These 3 cells have to be low digits now. And again, in fact, none of these can be 4, because they would always cause double 9 in column 6. So this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. Which is almost interesting, but not quite. I can't quite see what that's doing. I've got a horrible feeling that's doing something very profound. I tell you what I should do. Those are cold digits, aren't they? Because they're on the low side of 5. So I'm going to relabel my blue. I'll relabel that one green, because it's not touching any whispers lines. So now we've got orange digits and blue digits on our long Beasthunter edge. I keep getting that wrong. I've got 3 different versions of 9 cages. And okay, sorry, I'm not quite seeing what this means. I'm sure it's right. Okay, how about this then? Yeah. Okay. So where do we put low digits in this column? That's an interesting question. And by low digits, I mean 1s, 2s and 3s. Where do 1s, 2s and 3s go in this column? Because I can't put 2 of them in any box. If I was to put if I was to label this 1, 2 or 3, I break the 9 cage again for exactly the same reason we just looked at it breaking box 5. You can't put 2 of the digits 1, 2 and 3 in any of these boxes that have a 9 cage in, because if you do, you're going to cause a repeated digit in those cells once you fill the 9 cage in. So if I can't put 2 of the digits 1, 2 and 3 in there, and I can't put 2 of the digits 1, 2, 3 in there, then I must put 1 of the digits 1, 2 and 3 in there, because there are 3 such digits in this column, and therefore I must effectively allocate them 1 per box. And that means that that is a 4, 5, 9 cage. That's lovely. That really is lovely. Why is this a 4, 5, 9 cage? Well, let's think about this 9 cage here now. Because this 9 cage we know has 2 low digits in it. And I now know that those 2 low digits can't be in this row, because that's going to cause a problem in row 5. We're going to have 4 cells selected from 3 different options. But I know this has got 2 of the digits 1, 2 and 3 in it. So one of them must be there. One of them must be in one of those 2 cells, creating a virtual triple in the row, which means this is a 4, 5 cage. Oh, this is gorgeous. Oh, yeah, this is absolutely lovely. The flow of this is so elegant, because now I can't put 4 or 5 in this 9 cage. So this 9 cage is 6, 1, 2, because it can't be 2, 3, 4, and it can't be 1, 3, 5. So that's no 3 in here. This is 1, 2, 6. This is a 3. That's our first digit. That's not a 3. This row is now needs 7, 8 and 9 in it. And that's putting pressure on that 20 cage. Yes, okay, here's a simple deduction. How do we fill those 5 digits now? We know these add up to 20, and we know these add up to a pretty big number for 2 cells. Well, what's the maximum I can ever make 5 cells in a Sudoku add up to if all the digits are different? Well, that would be 9, 8, 7, 6 and 5, which is 35. Well, if I've got 20 there, that means the maximum value of those 2 cells is 15. So I cannot make them anything other than 7 and 8, which means this is 7, 8, which means this is 9, which means this is not 9, which doesn't... Oh, it does mean that can't be 4, I suppose. Oh, no. Well, I thought that was going to do something here, look. But no. The ability of this to be 6 is rather annoying. Okay. Oh, Sudoku! Pulverizing Pancake, this is outrageous. I'm only 18 minutes into the video, you've made me do Sudoku. That's a naked single. How do we know this is a naked single? Well, remember this box is filled up with 35 there. I suppose that let's fill this in. 5, 6 and 9, therefore. These 5 digits were the 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. These 3 cells are 1, 2 and 3. So what's that cell? That's got to be a 4. So these cells are 1, 2 and 3. 4 in box 5 has to go here now. Oh, right, now we're away. Because now if you get 4 here by Sudoku, and we know this 9 cage now hasn't got a 4 in it, and it can't be a 1, 2, 6 cage because we know that each one of these cages is different, this is 1, 3, 5 cage, which means this up here is a 2, 3, 4 cage, which means that the 4 must go here. Ah, okay. And this has now become 2 or 3, so this can't be 6 anymore, because 6 would require a 1 here. And we've got 1, 3, 5 here, so that in fact is 2, that's 3, that's 8, because it can't be 7. And we're actually away. This is going remarkably smoothly all of a sudden. Oh, look, yeah, lovely. Now I've got 2, 7, 3, 6, and 1, 8 all ruled out from that 9 cage. So that 9 cage is 4, 5. That must put pressure on these 2 digits. These 2 digits add up to 7. They're not too... Oh, No, they can be 1, 6. Oh, I thought I'd broken the puzzle. But no, they can be 1, 6. That's the only thing they can be. So this is now 7 or 9. This is now 7 or 9. This can't be 6 because it's on the whisper. And if that was 6, you'd have to put double 1 in the same box. Or you'd have to have treble 1 in the same box. That's just simply ludicrous. So that's 1. That's 6. These are high, which means they're 7, 9 pair because 6 and 8 have gone from the box. Okay. So... no, okay, how do we do this? 5. 5 is just placed in box 5. It has to go there because of this 1, 3, 5 triple. So this cell is 7, 8 or 9. And, okay, now we have to pause for thought, I think. No, there's a 4 there, so that's done. This is a 4, this is a 5, so this isn't 5. I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quintuple in this column. So that means that other cells in this column are 6, 7, 8, and 9, and that's going to be interesting for the 18 cage, which can't have... So the minimum value of these two digits is 13. So the maximum value of these two digits is 5. So they have to be from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which sort of feels like it's worth recording. That can't be 4 because of this 4. So we're right on the cusp, I think, of proving something at the bottom of the grid. Right, how do we do this then? Oh, simple. Okay, where did in our orange quadruple I have to put a 6. Well, it doesn't seem to be able to be there. Why can't it be? Oh, it can't be there by sudoku. Because I was wondering about whether something had locked a 1 out of here, but no, it's nothing to do with that. It's to do with sudoku. So the 6 goes there. The 6 on a German whisper we know has to be next to a 1. That fills in the 2 and the 3. 3 can't be next to 7 on a whisper. It's only 4 away. So this is a 9. This must be 8 because now it can't be. It needs to be 5 away from 3 and it can't be 9 anymore. So that becomes 7 and the 7 sits very snugly between the 2 and the 1. And that cell there is a 9 now. And this cell here is a 6 by sudoku I've just seen. So that becomes... So now I've got a quintuple in column 4. Oh, so where does 6 go in this column? It goes at the top, just by sudoku from here. So this is a 7, 9 triple, 7, 8, 9 triple. This puzzle is... I've obviously lucked out here because it's very, very rare. Especially nowadays. For me to feel like I'm going at any sort of speed at all. Now this is a 1, 5 pair, this is a 7, 8 pair. So it may be Pulverizing Pancake's birthday, but it feels like on Father's Day Pulverizing Pancake is being very kind to me. So there's a 7, that's an 8 by sudoku. This is not 6, 7 anymore. So... can I do anything with this? I've almost done all the clues. I haven't done this. I haven't looked at this little configuration in box 7. Is there anything else obvious though? I've got a 9 here, so this becomes a 7 and row 2 gets finished. That gives us a 7 and an 8 there and there. 7 now in this column is definitely at the bottom. Look, that can't be 6. So that might be... Oh! No. Right, we've got a 1 here. So this... The minimum value... Right, so the maximum value of this was 5. And now the minimum value of it is 5 because I can't put a 1 into either of those cells. So this must be a 2, 3 pair. Which means this must be a 6, 7 pair. And the 6 here tells us the order. So that's 6, that's 7. So this cell is not 7 anymore. The 13 cage has 2 whisper lines. Right, okay. Well, very clearly these two cells can't be high polarity, because if they're high polarity, well, especially as they can't be 6 and 7, but even if they could be 6 and 7, you'd have to have gone 6, 7 and 0 in the middle to make them add up to 13. So these must be blue polarity, this must be high polarity, and it's not 6. So this is 7, 8 or 9. These are low, which means they're 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s. And can I eliminate anything there? It seems not. Oh, bobbins. Okay, so mildly stuck now. But this digit has to be a high digit, doesn't it? And I say that because it can't be 6 or 7. If it was a 5 only, the maximum value these cells could be would be 3, 4, 5, which only adds up to 12. So that's high, and it's not 6 or 7. So this is 8 or 9, which gives us an 8, 9 pair in the row. And it tells us that the rest of the row is made up of 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s and 5s, and I've got 1, 2, 3 triple already in box 9. So this is a 4, 5 pair, and there's a 4 up here. So that's 4, that's 5, that's 8, that's 9. Go on, keep going now. This is not 5 anymore, and these are not 4 anymore. Right, so one of these is a 3. Because if not, this would be a 1, 2 pair, and you'd have to put a 10 into this cell. So one of these is a 3, and if one of these is a 3, that cell has to be a 1. Don't know why the... Yeah, okay, that seems to be... Oh, so... Yeah, so this is all just forced, because 2 now is over here. I think I could have got that 2 being over here before. So this is 2 plus 3 is 5, so we need to add 8 to that, so that becomes a 9. This becomes a 7 by Sudoku. This becomes a something, not an 8. 7 or 9. Oh, and the whisper forces it. Because one of these cells is a 3, you can't put 7 here because it would only be 4 away, so that's 9. And these cells are no longer able to be 1s. There's a 2, 3 pair here. It's so smooth, isn't it? It's so cleverly designed, this. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. 4, 5, 6 here. 1, 7 here. This 9 fixes the 9s and the 7s. There's loads of Sudoku I'm missing as well, but that's... You have to forgive me for that. You don't have to, but it would be kind of you if you did. Now this is a 1 by Sudoku. Can we do this? Oh, 6 here. We can do that instead. This becomes a 5, 6 pair, which we can do. We've got this 5 here, so that becomes 5, 6. This becomes 8 at the top. And I don't know whether to focus on these or something over here. Let's check out... Oh, no, let's check out simple things like that. Let's do that first. So these squares are 3 and 7. And we've got a 7 here. So that's 7, that's 3, that's 3, that's 2 as a result of that. So this column needs 4s, 5s and 6s. That's a naked single. This is a 4 or a 5 at the top. These two squares have to be 2 and 8, and there's an 8 here, so we get the 8, we get the 2. 2, 2, that becomes a 2. We need 3, 4 and 5 to complete box 1. That's not 4. Oh, so there's a 3, 4, 5 triple in column 2 now, which makes that have to be a 6. And then we can say use the 3 here to give us a 5 here, which gives us a 5 here and a 4 here, 5 here, 4 here, 4 here, 3 here, 5 here, 1 here, 2 and something, 2 and 6, 6 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 1, 1 in the corner, no 3s in the corner, so no singing today, and that's a 9. And that should, I think, be the puzzle solved. Let's click tick. Yay! That was beautiful. Beasthunter Saif may be an extremely aggressive looking edged weapon, but in Sudoku terms it's a rather beautiful and elegant thing, and not not overtly tricky. I mean, it's still taken half an hour, and I think, you know, that's because there is some thinking to be done about the 9 cages and about how you have to make the low digits in these 9 cages work. I looked on Logic Masters Germany before I started the video, and I saw a comment from Totally Normal Cat, who is a fantastic setter and solver, obviously. And the comment was something like, very beautiful deductions, always clear where to look next. And that is exactly how this felt. It felt like it was sort of, the start was around the 9 cages in the blade, and then that led into some nice deductions. Probably my favourite deduction, actually, was that this cell had to be a low digit. So figuring out that once you got these as high polarity, that you couldn't put 2 low digits in boxes 2 or 8 in column 6, gave us this digit, and then it just flowed from there, didn't it? Because we could just use the power of this 9 cage, and then this row sort of got fixed, that 20 cage got fixed, and from there it became a very pleasant experience, most unusual given some of the beasts I've had to master recently. You see what I did there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I do enjoy reading the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.